Hello students, welcome back to Learning Science Q&A. Today we are here with another lecture from chapter Microorganism, Friend and Foe. This will be our lecture number 3 from the class 8th NCERT. During our last lecture, we have already seen what are vaccines and what are antibiotics. So in today's lecture, we'll be starting with the power of the vaccine and antibiotic. We already know that these two medication help us to protect from the deadliest of the infections. Now we are going to see what mechanism they follow to protect us. So, vaccine and antibiotic being a powerful tool to fight against the infectious disease, they protect us from harmful pathogen and keep us healthy. Antibiotics are given as a treatment of the infection which are caused due to harmful pathogen, whereas vaccines are usually administered to protect us from the same. So let's get started with the understanding how vaccines work. Vaccines are introduced as a weakened or inactive form of pathogen. They can be administered as a whole pathogen or a part of it inside the body. Once inside the body, they trigger the immune response. And our immune system recognizes these foreign particles as the antigen and mounts an immune response against the antigen. Our immune system generates antibodies that immediately works for killing the antigen. Also, it produces memory cells that are helpful in fighting the same pathogen upon the future entry. So, once the vaccine is administered, if the real pathogen enters the body, our immune system recognizes it quickly and mounts the same kind of immune response. Similarly, antibiotics fight bacterial infection. They have three main mechanisms by which they are acting. First of all, they can destroy the cell wall of the bacteria. Antibiotics like penicillin, they target the bacterial cell wall. They cause it to break down and they make the bacteria to burst and get killed. They can also block the DNA replication. Certain antibiotics like ciprofloxacin, they interfere with the DNA replication. Once the replication process is interrupted, bacteria is no longer able to reproduce and perpetuate in number. They also act by stopping the protein synthesis. Some antibiotics like tetracycline block bacteria from making essential protein needed for their survival and growth. So these are main mechanisms by which antibiotic fight infection. Coming to the importance of vaccines and antibiotics. They prevent the serious diseases like measles, polio, influenza, also protecting the individual as well as the communities. They also helpful in controlling the outbreaks and epidemics. Vaccine and antibiotic, they are helpful in controlling the spread of infectious disease. There are many communicable diseases that can spread from person to person. So, by application of vaccines, the communicable disease can be prevented from outbreaking. Administration of vaccine and antibiotic are safe. They are the effective ways to protect individual and community from the infectious disease. It is very necessary to use antibiotic responsibly as they can lead to antibiotic resistance. So, a registered medical prescription must be seen before giving antibiotic, also before using antibiotic. That will ensure their effectiveness. Next thing, where microorganism can play a major role and can lead to health hazard. Food poisoning. Let's get understanding of the food poisoning and the risk associated with the food poisoning. Food poisoning is a common illness that can be created by consuming contaminated food or drink. The main symptoms of food poisoning include stomach cramp, vomiting, diarrhea, nausea, and fever. The symptoms of the food poisoning can be seen within few hours to few days after the consumption of contaminated food. There are certain microorganisms which are responsible for causing food poisoning. Bacteria among the first. Salmonella, Escherichia coli, and Listeria are some of the most common bacteria causing food poisoning. Viruses like norovirus and hepatitis A can also contaminate food and cause illness. Similarly, parasites like Giardia and Toxoplasma can also be found in contaminated water and food, and once these contaminated water and food is consumed, food poisoning can be seen. There are certain ways of preventing food poisoning, like washing hand properly, washing the food that is to be consumed. Temperature treatment can be there. Purified water can only be taken. Also, the leftover or the expired food must be discarded. And compliance with the temperature or the food storage. That means not every item needs a low degree storage. We have certain items that can be stored at room temperature, as well as we have certain items that need a temperature compliance. So these are some general ways of preventing food poisoning. So let's see them one by one. Proper cooking ensures the proper killing of harmful microorganisms present in the food. For example, a meat should be cooked to an internal temperature of at least 74 degrees centigrade. A poultry should be cooked to an internal temperature of around 74 degrees centigrade. Also, egg should be cooked until the yolk is solid. Hand washing is very necessary. A proper washing of hand has to be there before handling any food or food related item, especially after handling a raw meat, poultry, seafood, or egg. Even washing hand is recommended after handling the pets. Prevention of cross contamination is also necessary, which can be assured by using separate cutting boards for raw meat and vegetable. All surfaces and utensils that have come in contact with the raw food has to be washed. Also, raw meat, poultry and seafood are to be refrigerated below the cooked food. That means we have even lower temperature to refrigerate these raw flesh. So students, in this lecture, we'll be doing till here. Please like, share and subscribe to the channel. Thank you.